Alright, what's going on, y'all? We are back with another video every single day, baby. The factory didn't shut down, but it was just two people that showed up for the department, bro. For the department that I'm in, only two people showed up. Or it was me plus the guy that I was telling y'all about too. I mentioned him in a couple days ago, maybe yesterday's video. But there's this guy too. His name is Two. I was like, yo, his name is actually like, his name is Two. This dude is goated, bro. And I told you guys, out of everybody that I've ever met at any job, he outworks me 100 times over. Like, it's just something about that man. Like, I'll tell you, he's the hardest worker I've ever met in my entire life. I'm not saying he's the smartest. I'm not saying he's, like, you know what I mean? He's the real definition of the turtle will always beat the hare, bro. And that story from when you hear it when you were a kid, of the turtle that beats the rabbit. You know how the rabbit, he's all cocky because he's fast naturally and he's talented. But the turtle, the reason the turtle wins is that even though he's the slowest, or he might not be the fastest, but he's still gonna take it day by day, and he's gonna win no matter what. Like, in his head, he's just gonna win. He may lose, but it's the experience that he gets out of it. That's the moral of that story right there. You know, just. And at the end of the day, the turtle ends up winning the race because of how resilient he is, how consistent and persistent he is, his grit, you know what I mean? And the hare, the rabbit, loses because he's just so cocky. You know, it's a kid's story, it's a kid's book, but that really is the meaning of life right there, right? Like, it holds so much more than what most people realize. And I hold that story dear because he's a prime example, bro. He's a foreigner. Like, he came from another country. He's not Mexican, but he came from another country, barely speaking English at like 20 years old, you know, by 30 or something like that. And when he started, he told me when he started at the job that, like, there was this guy that would just make him feel terrible, bro. Like, he would just, like, say things to him that shouldn't be said. And I'm going to watch what I say because it's not my story. Just like I don't like to touch on my grandma's stories and stuff like that. He told me something personal, you know, so I don't know anybody else who knows that story, and I haven't brought it up, so we're gonna keep it to a limit. But just know that he's been through some stuff, and he has been through a lot, bro, and he still keeps taking it day by day, and he outworks me 1,000 times over. Like, I cannot compete with. It's not that it's a competition, but when you find somebody like that, I tell you guys, when you find genuine people, you bounce off of one another. Like, you try to show up, and you know, you give it your all, and they give it their all. And the days where you feel like you can't give it 100%, you got your buddies with you. You know, you got the people that you're bouncing off of. You know, maybe it's just one person, maybe you're just by yourself and you're bouncing off of just you and God. You know, and that time, that can get lonely. You know, that can get real lonely real fast. But that's exactly where God gets, like, closer to you and builds that connection. I'm at the gym right now. There's other people here. I can see the cars, and I don't want to go in there and record. So I'm going to talk to you guys for a minute. I was hoping there was no cars in here, but there's like 6 cars here, and I don't want to go in there and record and bring any more attention. So I'm going to talk to you guys for a minute, and then I'm going to go in there and knock out my workout. But yeah, it was only me and him that showed up to the factory today. So none of the lines ran. We tried to get the lines running, and he's older. He's probably like in his 50s, maybe 40s. I don't know. Probably 50s, almost 60s. I don't know how old he is, but he's a bit older. And we talk a lot. Like, today we were just talking a lot. Like, we worked in another department because our department was shut down. You know, it was just me and him. We tried to get it running, but we couldn't. We needed a driver. Like, we had one driver that showed up. Like, there's just other positions, but basically we didn't have enough people to get our side of the factory running, so we went to another side, and we were working with this other guy, and this guy was just like, he was working, you know. They said that he was like the goat over there. That's what he was saying. That's what he was talking about himself. I was like, man, you don't know the goat, bro. I'm like, I'm standing by the goat right here. I'm talking about Two, the guy that I work with. This guy is literally goated, bro. And I told you, me and him, we kind of bounce off of each other. When I started, I would be working a lot of overtime, and he would work overtime too, but only when they needed him. But now he comes in whenever he knows that I'm coming in. Like, not all the time, but 80% of the time, bruh, he bounces off of me and I bounce off of him. And, like, he'll ask me, he'll be like, you gonna come in tonight? I'm gonna see if I can make it. And, like, I'll tell him, yeah, but I'll tell him, I'll see if they let me come in. Like, I have to ask to come in, and like everybody, just to get overtime. And he'd be like, okay, he was like, I'm coming today. He was like basically like, I'm gonna be knocking it out, you gonna knock it out. And like, it motivates him. There's days where how I do the schedule, where I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh no, wait, hold on. I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's 7 days in a row. There's times where he'll ask me if I'm coming in those 2 days. He'll be like, okay, I'll come in too. Like, he's bouncing off, and like, he sees me come in and he'll come look for me in the factory. Like, anywhere I'm at, he'll come look for me. And I'm younger than him, like, by a lot. But I can tell that he sees a lot of himself in me. You know what I mean? Like, that's why. Because I know that I've never really came across nobody that's like me. And, like, he's never came across nobody that's like him. But we just bounce off of each other so quick. And we talk a lot, bro. Like, me and this guy right here, that's what I'm saying. Wisdom doesn't always come with age. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about him. Like, I know that he's held this character, even though that he probably didn't have the best come up life, just like my grandma said, but he still made the best out of it. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it doesn't matter. I said it a couple days ago. It doesn't matter if you're black. It doesn't matter if you're Mexican. It doesn't matter what cards you're dealt, bruh. It doesn't matter if you lost people, lost family, if you didn't have a dad, didn't have a mom. You could have the worst story, but if you just try to put one foot in front of the other, you're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? And I'm like I say, I'm not no philosopher. I'm not no motivational speaker. I'm just some random ass kid from Thomasville that went to school. And like I said, you guys are from school. Y'all know me. Most of y'all from school or from jobs that I've worked with. And you guys, you've seen my character. The joking and the playing, and But at the end of the day, these are things that I really talk about with this guy now. Like, I take it serious, and I've thought about a lot of this stuff in my head. But now I actually have somebody to talk to, like, how serious I take life, and like, just the savings, the Roth IRA. He knows about that stuff. Like, there's people his age who don't know that. And he'll go around the factory asking everybody, what's your savings look like? And he will set that up. Like, he'll be like, okay, let's pull your savings up. Let's try to get your savings situated. Like, and it's just, we bounce off of each other, man. And I really bounce off of him a lot. And I know that he knows that we both have like a mutual, unspoken rule that we're bouncing off of each other. Like, I'll be like, you gonna come in tonight? He'll be like, I don't know. And I'll be like, I'm gonna come in. And he'll be like, he'll come back later. He'll be like, I'm gonna come in. I'm like, let's go. Because if he's there, we'll meet up like throughout the 12 hours. And like, that means that he's working 60 hours too. He's older. And like, we'll meet up halfway, like through the shift or something on his break. And he'd be like, this line is running this, this is how it's running over here. And I'm like, man, this guy's over here, And it's just like, today, it was just me and him. And we were knocking it out. There was basically nothing to do there, but we found something to do. Like, we were cleaning, we were picking stuff up. Like, we were just, and I in these moments when the line isn't running and I get to see him, like when the lines are down, or like at McDonald's, if there was any downtime, or any job that I've worked, I've always hated it because I have to sit there and I really think about my situation. I remember even at Vitessa, anytime the other factory that I worked at, anytime the line would go down, it was a cleaning day. I hated it, bro, because those were the times where at that factory, I would just put my headphones in. Everybody would. It's not the same factory that I'm at now. This one has a lot more ground rules and a lot more safety. And like, at this factory, someone will actually pull up on you, bro. Like, some kind of manager, if you do that, out of nowhere, boom, the owner of the plant is on the floor. Like, I'm talking about the big boss, the guy that your paychecks, that's pocket change to him. You know what I mean? Like, that guy will literally pull up on you. At the other factory, Vitessa, they didn't care, bruh. You could literally have, there was people with guns at, nah, let me stop. But yeah, man, and it's just like, I hated those moments. I hate the moments when the lines aren't running, because when the line's running, my mind is running. Like, I'm focused on the production. I'm focused on, my mind is just clear of everything outside of work. It's just focused on getting this line running. If the line goes down, calling a tech, calling help, fixing the line. What's the problem? Getting the materials in that we got to run, doing all that. My mind is just focused on work. But when the line is down and I'm sweeping, or I'm cleaning, or I'm blowing out a whole bunch of stuff, that's when my mind is racing. That's why when I'm at home, I get real into my thoughts. I get into a lot, and then I tear up. I get really emotional. And nobody likes to feel that way. I don't like feeling that way. I really don't. And the reason that these videos, you know, for the past couple of weeks, the past month, they've been a lot more me crying because we're going into my past, and I've really been peeling away at my past through the videos, and you guys are seeing that because the past I usually just leave it in a little. I left it in this little box, but because I want y'all to see who I am as a person or the things that I've gone through, who made me who I am today. You know what I mean? I wanted y'all to see that, so I had to kind of open that box up and look at the trauma and everything. And yeah, it kind of shined bad light on some people, and I didn't do that intentionally. It was just to show you that through anything, you can get through it if you just take it day by day. That wasn't to make anybody feel bad about themselves. My mom, anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I love my mom, and we're going to get into the good stories too. Don't think that all the stories that I've talked about are just anybody that I brought up. We're going to get, like I said, we haven't even got into my character and how much of an ass, strong word right there, how much of a dickhead I can be, how rude and disrespectful I've been as a kid, the people that I've done the worst of things to. Like, I'm not a perfect person, bro. Nobody is. And we haven't even touched on the icing of the cake. That's me. You know, right now we're getting into, like I said, the past month, we've been unfolding and unboxing. I've been throwing you these cards. This is where, but like I said, we haven't even got into who I am. And this who I am today, like who I see myself as, you know, the insecure, you know, asshole, like being a dickhead, you know, trying to outgrow some of the characteristics that have, you know, been thrown on me by myself. Because I didn't have to grow into who I am today. I could have easily taken a different route, but that goes for everybody. You know, you don't let the things that have happened to you change you into a bad person. And if you notice you're kind of being a dick or you're kind of being an ass because of how you were raised or what's happened to you and stuff, you got to look at yourself for who you are. You know what I mean? And try to change it. And if you think you're perfect, buddy, there ain't no helping you, because nobody's perfect. I promise you right now, bro. There ain't nobody perfect. There was one perfect person and they crucified him. Yeah. You probably looking like, what are you talking about? Lock in. I'm serious. The only perfect person that walked the earth, they strung him up on a cross, bro. Nobody else can even compete or compare, or there's nobody else, not nobody in the. But that's just another story for another time. Right now, we're just talking about like the factory. You know, I try not to push religion on a lot of people, because a lot of people, that's a touchy subject for a lot. But eventually, I'm going to dive into that too, and you know, that's why I bring it up now, what I believe in, because a lot of people, they just don't like that stuff. I don't care, bro. That's what's guiding me from the bad parts of my life into, you know, taking it day by day, you know, just leaning on my faith, and just, it's not perfect. I'm not going to church every day, and I'm not like I said, I'm not perfect, bro. And that's not what following Jesus Christ and all that stuff. But like I said, that's a story. That's for another video. That's for the future. Right now, we're still peeling away at a banana. You know what I mean? And getting into who I am in the past and everything. Once we get rid of this and throw it out of the window, then we keep moving. And then we eventually come up onto the streams, playing the game. And then, you know what I mean? We probably lost a couple friends and a couple people who probably seen something that they ain't like in the video. And they're like, yeah, I'm not watching this guy. And that's all right, bro. I don't care. I don't care. Well, I do care, but I don't mind. You know, I don't care. That's a very strong way to put it. But yeah, there's people walking by. They can see me in here, and I'm not even feeling insecure anymore. There's like 3 people that just walked by, and like they can see me in here. I'm getting there. I can feel myself getting there. But yeah, what are we at? 13 minutes. I gotta go in there and get a workout in, because I'm gonna work tonight and tomorrow. But yeah, man, back to work. Me and two. This guy, man, he works really hard, and I told you I've never met anybody. And I told y'all a couple days ago. When I say a couple days ago, it's literally a couple videos ago, because I'm posting every single day. But a couple days ago, I said that I've never found anybody who's like outworks me or could outwork me. Only two. And there's probably people that I've worked with that have seen that, and they're probably like, "Are you serious? Are you doubting me?" No, I'm not. I'm not saying I'm the smartest. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm the best worker. I'm saying, like, long term, I'm gonna stick to problems a lot longer than like, you know what I mean? Like, two. If you look at two, and it kind of sounds cocky coming from me, but if I'm talking about two is the kind of guy. He started at the factory, or at the factory, not knowing English and this guy, this is a character, you know what I mean? He's a real person, but I'm talking to you about like if he was just a made up person. This dude started off here barely speaking English, and he didn't let nothing get in his way. He didn't understand the machines. He didn't understand the number. He got in here and he put belt to ass, baby. You know what I mean? Like, that's somebody that you got to strive to be like. That doesn't make excuses for the way that their life is. That it doesn't matter how bad their life is. They just keep trying no matter what. It doesn't matter if they're getting the snot knocked out of them. They're still trying. They're not lazy. Like, this dude is, it doesn't matter if there's nothing to do. This guy is going to be sweeping the ceiling. Like, what are we doing? But yeah, like, I try to follow in his footsteps because, like I said, he outworks me or anybody that I've ever seen 100 times 100. Like, there's nobody that I've ever worked with that works like this guy right here. Like, the amount of proficiency, like, there's people that have worked hard like him, but whenever things get hard, they break down. I can't do it. I've worked with people that are hard workers, but they just break down when it gets way too hard. Not once have I seen this dude break down. I'm sure it's happened before, but like, he's been building his character day by day by day by day, and then he's where he's at now. I know there's times where he's probably felt like giving up, you know, and like I said, I've said in the other videos, find something that you can look up to, somebody that you can, you know, try to follow in their footsteps or learn from them and go the opposite direction, but do something, you know, don't just sit there, you know, try to change somehow. I don't know, just try to take it day by day. I don't even know what I'm saying or what I'm getting into, but yeah, I just had a good day at the factory. I mean, I was getting a little sad, overthinking a lot of stuff, my character and who I've been to people. And like I said, whenever the factory's down or nothing's running, even at McDonald's, I told you, like, there would be times where it would snow at McDonald's. We're not getting no customers, and I'm just cleaning. Got my headphones in, and I'm just thinking, when I was 16 years old, I'm like, bro, this is it, bro. Like, if this YouTube does not work and I don't get on my equipment as fast as I possibly can, I'm going to be a bum, bro. And I'm literally, in my eyes, I still feel like I'm on that path. I still feel like I'm on that bummy path, on the path that I didn't want to live. I didn't want to work forever. You know, I don't want that for me, but you know what I mean? That I've talked about that already before. I've talked about it in the past videos and stuff before, but I'm still on that path that I don't want to be on. And I'm still trying to change it day by day, working these hours, trying to get the equipment. I'm still going at it, you know? And who knows if it's going to work, but I'm trying to sit here and tell y'all, take it day by day, this and that, when I don't even know if me taking it day by day is going to work. Shit. But I know that either way, I'm still going to be way further in life than if I just chose to sit here and not do nothing, you know? So take whatever you can from that and like apply it to your own life. If you're younger, you're older, it doesn't matter. You know, you can learn from anybody. Just like I learn from anybody. Like, I'm gonna be learning from somebody younger eventually, and I'm gonna learn. I don't know, bro. I really don't know, but I'm gonna get in here and get this workout in. Yeah, I was just talking about how I don't like the fact that the factory's down, because I think about it a lot, and I was thinking about me being raised and how it's changed my character and how I am the way that I am now. How I held a lot of resentment towards my parents. Not even towards my parents, just towards my mom specifically, and how I'm letting it go. You know, I'm unraveling it. Even with these videos, I'm letting that stuff go, because your parents are learning, bruh. Like, look at your parents as humans. You know, there's no guideline to how to be a parent. If I had kids today, I promise you those kids would hate me. I promise you those kids, they would probably talk about me how I sit here and I think about my mom sometimes. You know what I mean? And my mom's not a bad person. She's a human being. You know, there's people who think of me how I think of my mom, and me and my mom are so alike, and I don't even realize that until like I sit in moments like that and I think about my character, you know. And it's just long conversation that just if you've been through a lot with your parents too, or anybody, just look at everybody for what they are. Everybody's humans, you know. We're all flesh and blood, you know. We're just jelly. That's it. We're just a bunch of bones and blood, and you poke a needle, whatever, a bunch of blood just flows out. Nobody has the answers. Nobody has the rules. Even with something like the Bible being around, everybody's gonna get it wrong. You're not gonna be perfect. You're gonna hurt somebody's feelings. You're gonna make mistakes, and shoot, you know, nobody has the answers, bro. And no, not even your parents. So that's what I'm slowly learning to unravel. Like, you know, thinking of your parents, and if they try to give you the best life they could while trying to go through their struggles. You know what I mean? everybody's parents are different, but like I mean it for like the parents that actually somewhat tried. You know, your parents like, hey, every Wednesday my dad made me box him 5 minutes a day just for me to get some dinner. Yeah, go ahead and cut that parent out. You don't need to be talking to your dad no more, you know, or your mom or whoever, you know. But if you have to, you know, keep your parents at a distance. I don't know. I'm getting into a lot right now, but I'm about to go get in a workout. I had a good time at work today with two. Like, maybe one day you guys meet him. And I say his name out of everybody because he doesn't have social media. He doesn't have none of this stuff. You can't find that guy, bro. Like, come on. He probably does, but you don't know how to spell this guy's name, but that's the only reason I mention his name. Everybody else, I just say this guy from work, this, da-da-da. But two, my grandma, like anybody, Usman Farhan, anybody whose name I really mention, people I genuinely care about, you know? Two's one of those people, and I never thought I'd meet anybody like Two, bro. This dude is just, the 12-hour shifts go by fast when we're just bouncing off of each other. And like I said, find somebody like that, find a friendship like that. If you don't have nobody like that, just look to God, or you know what, pull this video up. Shit, you know, pull the video up while you working, put that phone in the pocket, put the headphone in. Hey, take your hoodie off. They're gonna see you with the headphone in. What are you doing on your phone? What are you listening to? You show them the video? This motherfucker. I'm kidding. All right, look. Let me put my stuff up. But yeah, I'm about to go in there, get this workout in, bro. And this microphone wasn't working. I was sitting here for the first, it's already 7:09. Usually we already recording the video way earlier, but this thing wasn't working. I was sitting here troubleshooting. And I figured it out again. It's just, this joint has a lot of problems, bro. And you gotta, with life, like I say, even if you watched the other videos a couple days ago, the jump rope where it went flying, that's life, bro. You just gonna get a whole bunch of stuff thrown at you, and you just gotta figure it out as you go. You know, that's what I've learned within the last 5 years, that you're not gonna have all the answers, but as long as you try to keep going, you know, maybe that changes for me. Maybe next year or a couple years from now, y'all are gonna see my character develop, and I'm just like, man, fuck life. Strong word, my bad. And I'm just like, man, there ain't no point. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna go get this workout in. Love you guys. Bye.